Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best compact camera, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. The Fujifilm X100V is a compact APS-C camera with built-in prime lens. It has a hybrid electronic/optical rangefinder that adds a bit of retro flair, while its lens fixed focal length encourages you to move around and engage with your subjects to frame the shot the way you want. The camera's lightweight, compact design makes it easy to bring along with you throughout the day. It delivers excellent image quality out of the box and records impressively sharp, detailed video in both 4K and FHD. Unfortunately, its lack of a proper hand grip can make it a little cumbersome to use, and you can't see its tilting touchscreen when the camera is pointed at you. The Fujifilm X100V is good for travel photography. The out-of-the-box image quality is excellent, with good noise handling capability and minimal loss of sharpness at higher ISO levels, which is good if you plan on shooting in darker environments. Its compact design makes it very portable. Its autofocus system does a good job of tracking moving subjects. The lens built-in ND filter should allow you to use a wider aperture or a slower shutter speed in brightly lit environments, though we don't currently test this feature. Its fixed focal length forces you to move around to properly compose your shots, which enthusiasts may prefer. However, the camera itself isn't always comfortable to use due to its very small hand grip. It also isn't fully weather sealed unless you purchase separate sealing accessories for its lens. The Sony ZV-1 is a 20MP compact camera geared towards vlogging. It has a new and novel directional microphone next to the flash hot shoe, and there's a fully articulating touchscreen display. The ZV-1 shoots in 4K up to 30p and Full HD up to 120p and features a 24 to 70mm equivalent f1.8-2.8 lens. Although the Sony ZV-1 is designed specifically with vloggers in mind, it's quite capable as a conventional compact stills camera too. If you're a hybrid shooter who is interested in capturing both video and stills, but doesn't want to carry around two cameras, the ZV-1 has a lot to offer. The ZV-1's ergonomics might seem a little quirky at first, but are fairly intuitive once you start shooting. There's a modest grip on the right-hand side, and it's comfortable to use when shooting in selfie mode or a standard shooting position. When you are shooting with the camera held out at arm's length with the lens facing yourself, you can control the zoom rocker with your thumb and use your index finger to hit record or release the shutter. The ability to easily swap between shooting videos and stills is one of the greatest assets of the ZV-1, made easier if you are using the memory recall functions in the camera. These let you customize banks of settings that include your shooting mode, auto, PSM, video and so on, exposure settings, image or video quality settings, and quickly swap between them. The ZV-1's included fuzzy mic windscreen does an excellent job of cutting down on distracting wind noise when recording video, but unfortunately it also covers up the on-off button on the camera. On the back of the camera you'll find the camera's single control ring, which is the only way to adjust shutter speed and aperture while shooting. It's not that bad if you're using the ZV-1 to capture stills, but can be cumbersome for vloggers since the only adjustments that can be made using the touchscreen are for focus. So if you want to adjust anything other than your AF area, you'll have to flip the camera back around. The ZV-1 offers impressive image quality. While shooting, I tended to keep it set to ISO auto with a range of ISO 125-6400. The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark III is a compact point-and-shoot camera suitable for vlogging. It can capture good quality shots that remain mostly free of noticeable visual noise, so your images shouldn't appear very grainy, and you can also use this camera to live stream directly to YouTube, though we don't currently test this. It has a touch-sensitive screen that can get bright enough that you can still see it under direct sunlight. You can also use it to navigate its menu or flip it upwards to face you when the camera is pointed at you. The Canon PowerShot G7X Mark III is good for vlogging. It has a great screen that you can flip up to face you when the camera is pointed at you. It's also exceptionally portable, and footage taken while walking should remain smooth and stable. It can shoot in 4K and FHD without a crop, however, it does incur a reduction in your field of view when its stabilization feature is set to high. It's also okay at tracking faces, though it struggles to capture clear and sharp footage free of noticeable visual noise while shooting in 4K and FHD. Unfortunately, its battery performance is poor and frequently causes the camera to shut down from overheating, especially when shooting in 4K. This can make it hard to record long videos in 4K, so it may be best to stick to recording body is made of plastic and metal. While the RX100V, RX104 and RX103 all featured a fast Zeiss-branded 24 to 70mm f/1.8-2.8 zoom lens, this standard zoom range might be a little limiting at the long end for some, and it's all changed for the RX106, with the new camera sporting a new 24 to 200mm zoom lens with a variable maximum aperture of f/2.8-4.5. The payoff, then, is that while the lens offers considerably more reach over the 24 to 70mm optic, the maximum aperture available isn't quite as impressive. However, it's not quite as bad as it seems, as it's only a stop slower at f/4 when the lens is extended just beyond 70mm. It compares pretty favorably to rivals such as Panasonic's Lumix ZS100, known as the TZ100 outside the US, which has a 25 to 250mm f/2.8-5.9 zoom lens, and the new Lumix ZS200, with its 24 to 360mm f/3.3-6.4 lens. To help reduce the effects of camera shake, the RX106 features Sony's optical steady-shot image stabilization system, which delivers a 4-stop advantage. This means that rather than having to shoot at, say, 1/250 SEC with the lens fully extended at 200mm, it's possible to shoot at a shutter speed for stop slower, which would be 1/30th SEC in this case, and still achieve sharp shots. It's a bit of shame, though, to see that the built-in neutral density (ND) filter, a feature on previous models, hasn't made it across to the RX106. This means that in some conditions you won't be able to use the lens at its maximum aperture, or drag out the exposure. Just like the RX104 and V, the RX106 features a back-illuminated 20.1MP 1-inch sensor with a clever stacked design, which sees the memory chips built right onto the back of the sensor to deliver incredibly fast readout speeds. However, Sony has upgraded the Bionz X image processor with a new LSI chip to enhance the performance of the new camera even further. This means that while the RX106 can match the staggering 24 frames per second burst shooting speed of the RX100V, the buffer has been extended even further to 233 JPEG images, compared to 150 shots on the RX100V, and it'll manage this while shooting with continuous AF and auto exposure. The Panasonic Lumix LX102 is a 17-megapixel enthusiast zoom compact with a 24 to 75mm equivalent f1.7-2.8 lens. It uses up to 85% of the area of a 4/3 sized sensor to give a choice of aspect ratios without narrowing the field of view. Like the Mark I, the LX102 features extensive external control points, but it now also gains a touchscreen to speed up processes such as AF point positioning and interacting with the customizable function menu. The LX102 doesn't mess with the formula too much. The controls are familiar, and now there are additional custom buttons that can save a trip to the menus. The new touchscreen is much needed, and Panasonic's implementation remains one of the best. For those who want even more customizable buttons, you can store 5 more on a tab on the screen which slides out from the side. Something I was hoping for that the Mark II didn't have was a tilting display, which didn't pan out. Oh well, there's always the Mark III. Back when Panasonic came out with the LX3, their first true multi-aspect camera, I didn't feel a need to ever leave 4:3. Things have changed dramatically since then. My Samsung smartphone shoots at 16:9, so that ratio doesn't seem as awkward to me as it did in 2008. I've also started to post more on Instagram, so having 1:1 just to switch away eliminates the need to crop. The wireless functions on the LX102 make getting those square photos online even easier. You can have them automatically transferred to your smartphone, and it's straight to Instagram or wherever from there. Camera companies always manage to squeeze in a few gimmicky features, but I don't consider Panasonic to be doing that here. My favorite is definitely post-focus, which has helped save many a macro shot from the delete button. The new LM monochrome D picture style looks great, especially with the random grain pattern generator turned on. One feature I wish Panasonic had included is a mic input. After all, the camera does capture pretty good 4K video. With its fast lens and a useful focal range, multi-aspect 4/3 sensor and numerous direct controls, the LX100 Mark II remains one of the most appealing enthusiast compacts on the market. Even if you don't use all of those dials, it's still a compelling camera for those who want to quickly shoot and share photos taken at multiple aspect ratios and, based on my initial impressions, it appears that image quality has improved to the point where it's on par with the best of its peers. I'm looking forward to shooting with it more.